Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me today for a video that I am pumped to get to on a brand new player that I have started PCing over the last few months. I'm trying to form a nice collection of this guy, and I find him to be an intriguing individual because he is closely involved and holds one of the most historic records in sports and one of the most hallowed records in sports in a way. We'll get into the details here. Yet, at the same time, I'm willing to bet that a good portion of you watching this video have probably never heard of him before or may not realize the significance of the record in question here. So obviously, as you can tell by the backdrop, we are going to talk about the single season home run chase, which to me, being someone who's a baseball fan growing up in the United States, is kind of like the premier record in sports. Growing up, I heard so much about Roger Maris and that historic season in 1961, breaking the Babe's record. Of course, very well known what he went through that year, and just kind of how much esteem and stress, quite honestly, that chase brought to him. And then, of course, only recently, Aaron Judge breaking the record, at least for the American League, 61 years later, very fittingly, by hitting 62 home runs in 2022. And everybody, I think, who's a fan of baseball is intimately familiar with that record and that pursuit, including Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and the guys who, maybe questionably topped that mark in the 90s as well. But what you don't hear as much about, and what I decided to try to focus on over this past winter, is the Japanese single-season home run record, the Nippon Professional Baseball home run record. Now, for a long time, that record was held by this guy here, and apologies for the glare, Sadaharu Oh, who is very well known, the single greatest hitter in the history of Japanese baseball. You hear a lot about this guy. You see his cards shown all over our community, and rightfully so. He is still with us, and hit the most home runs of, I think, any professional player, even more than Bonds and Hank Aaron, when you look at his career totals playing over in NPB. And so he set the record with 55 home runs in the 1964 season at the height of his talent. And that record lasted for 37 years. So long time that was in place until this gentleman came around, Carl Rhodes, affectionately known as Tuffy. He is not the player that forms the basis of my new player collection, but he plays an important part in this story, or at least a side part. And so I picked up a couple of his cards as well over this past winter, just due to my interest in this record. Now, his story, like many players, he began his major league career, or his professional career, in the States, played Major League Baseball for a few seasons, and here he is on his 94 Topps Finest Refractor card. Pumped to get this. I got this for like $5 shipped recently because, again, these are not popular players, which is part of what's made this so fun. So I went out and picked this up. He transferred over to Japan, of course, or we wouldn't be talking about him in today's video. And in the year 2001, 37 years after O set the mark, he tied the home run record. And this is a great card of his that I picked up recently because it is the 2001 Upper Deck Japan set, and here he's identified by his nickname, Tuffy. So this is the card from Japan, from the season where he actually tied O's record. Now, what happened that year, this is really interesting to me, he actually hit his 55th home run with plenty of leeway left in the season, and he inevitably would have broken the record, except that the pitchers, largely Japanese pitchers, decided they didn't want Rhodes breaking the record. And I'm sure, similar to what Roger Maris faced back in 1961, where there was a good percentage of the population that didn't want to see him break Babe Ruth's record. And the same thing happened here. And basically, collectively, the pitching staffs for all of the teams in his remaining games just agreed to intentionally walk him from there on out. And so he never really saw another live pitch or had an opportunity to hit home run number 56. So he tied Sadaharu Oh and remained in that state for quite a while. That record just stayed tied between the two of them. The following year, a little-known player by the name of Alex Cabrera, who started with the Diamondbacks, also hit 55 and tied that record as well. So it was a three-way tie at 55 home runs until the player that I have started collecting came along. And that's where we get into my new player PC, Vladimir Valentin. And let's check out, this is his lone Allen and Ginter card here as I give a little bit of background. He was signed as an undrafted prospect by the Seattle Mariners all the way back in 2000. And long story short, this is going to be a long enough video as it is. He eventually made his way through the minor league system and debuted with the Mariners at the very end of the 2007 season. Just got a handful of games in and then played with them throughout 2008, on and off, and into 2009. He was traded to the Cincinnati Reds, where he clung on for the remainder of the 2009 season, but then was sent down to the minors and spent 2010 in the minor leagues. And after spending that season in the minors, having already had a taste of the big leagues, he decided to sign and move over to Japan. And he played in Nippon Professional Baseball beginning in 2011 and lasted all the way through 2021 in that league. So more than a 10-year tenure in Nippon Professional Baseball. And obviously, what is important here is that in the 2013 season, his third year in NPB, he broke Sadaharu Oh's single-season home run record. The record shared by O, Tuffy Rhodes, and Alex Cabrera as well, of 55, when he was able to launch 60 home runs during that 2013 campaign. And so, as it stands to this day, present day, as we sit here listening to this video, Vladimir Valentin is the all-time Nippon Professional Baseball single-season home run leader with 60 home runs. And I just think, as I learned about him and learned that fact, I just thought it was so cool that somebody could hold a record like that, yet barely be talked about within our hobby, or at least that's how I feel. Maybe there are some Valentin collectors out there that I'm not aware of, but in any event, I determined as I started looking around, he doesn't have a ton of cards out there, and I determined pretty quickly that what he has out there is pretty cheap. I think, his home run record was sort of an outlier of a season, which we'll talk about in a minute. But for that fact, and I guess the fact that Japanese baseball is not as popular here in the States, obviously, as Major League Baseball is, I think it's largely unknown that he holds that record, and his cards just don't demand a lot of money. And so it's really fun and refreshing to collect him. I've been having a blast picking his stuff up, and I have some pickups here that I want to look at in today's video that kind of show the start of my Vladimir Valentin collection. Now, I mentioned he came up with the Mariners, and in the end, he got 3 Topps flagship base cards here in the US before he moved over to Japan. And I've got examples of all 3 to share here today. The first was in 2005, where he got a draft pick or prospect card. This is a pre-rookie card. He had not taken a single swing yet in Major League Baseball, as I mentioned, until the 2007 season, at the very end of the season. So this is a pre-rookie card of Valentin, and this is the black parallel. So it's his first Topps card, released in 2005. And back then, the black parallels, which increment by 1 every year, were numbered to just 54. So I was able to pick that up. Love Topps Black. And again, one of the primary reasons I'm collecting him, he holds a very significant record, but his cards don't cost any money, or cost very little money. So to go along with that, his first Topps card, the pre-rookie, the second one was his proper rookie card, which came in 2008 Topps, a design that I absolutely love. Love that kind of marquee team lettering across the top. Of course, this one has the rookie card logo, the much maligned with some collectors rookie card logo. This is a Topps Black parallel of his rookie as well. Kind of went on a little bit of a Topps Black run here in 2008. These were, of course, numbered to 57. And kind of cool, didn't do this on purpose, but copy 55 of 57. It's kind of neat, given that 55 was the hallowed mark set by O that he broke, which is the reason that I collect him to begin with. So pretty cool to get the rookie card Topps Black with that kind of significant number as it relates to his career. And then let me make a little room here. The third and final Topps card that he got during his run in the majors was the following year, 2009, where we get this fielding position where he's, leaping for a ball here in the outfield. Again, still with the Mariners. He was traded to the Reds, as I mentioned, to finish out the 2009 season, but he doesn't have any Topps cards from his time with Cincinnati. I do think there's an Upper Deck card that shows him with the Reds, which I hope to obtain at some point. But for now, started with the Topps Black, and in this case, numbered to 58, and was able to complete that trio of his Topps Black releases. So that's it for Topps cards for him before he moved over to Japan. But I did grab a couple of other cards. First of all, I got a couple of duplicates. I mean, he is so cheap, for example, that this Topps Black, now this one's a little beat up, has a rough upper right corner, but I got a second copy of this for $1. This was $1 on eBay, so I just couldn't resist that. And then I also picked up a second copy of his rookie card in Topps Black, just because to me, this is one of his most significant cards. Obviously, the rookie is always desirable, especially if he came up during the era that I did. And, the price point on these, like a Topps Black rookie of the NPB home run leader, both of these copies were under $15 delivered to my door, which I just think is crazy. I'm not making the case that he is anywhere near the athlete that any of the other players that you saw in the background were, the Barry Bondses, Aaron Judges, Roger Marises of the world. I totally get it. In fact, on that note, I wanted to get back to this, but it's really a fluke that he ended up with the single season home run record over in Japan. So the way this happened is his first 2 seasons over there in 2011 and 2012, he led the league in home runs both of those years with 31 home runs each year. So he was obviously a prolific home run hitter. Nobody's questioning that. But in his third year there, where he broke the record, 2013, he all of a sudden exploded to hit 60 home runs. And then in the year following that, 2014, he was back down to 31 again. So what happened? Well, this, is a topic for another episode. I'm already well over 10 minutes here. But essentially, it came out that NPB had introduced sort of a juiced or livelier ball into play in the 2013 season. And that resulted in those vaulted home run numbers for not just Ballantine, but many players during the 2013 campaign. And that became such a scandal, as a matter of fact, that the commissioner at the time of NPB was forced to resign over that juiced ball scandal. So, reason we have evil Barry in the back here, you could draw some correlations between Ballantine and Barry Bonds in that, there are collectors out there who refuse to acknowledge Barry's single season home run record due to his use of PEDs. In the same way, I'm sure there are many out there who feel that Ballantine isn't the true Nippon professional baseball home run leader because of that juiced ball. I don't disagree with that, but I'm also of the mind that you can't change the record books. What happened is what happened. So PEDs or juice ball aside, doesn't change the fact that Bonds hit the number of home runs that he hit and that Ballantine hit the number of home runs that he hit. So you can put an asterisk next to it if you want, but the reality is he is the single season home run leader in Japanese baseball. And as I said at the outset of the episode, not many of you have probably heard of him, or I'm betting the majority of you haven't. I was certainly not intimately familiar with him prior to doing this research and kind of discovering him this past off season. So I've been waiting to do this video as I kind of accumulated a bunch of his cards and had enough to kind of put something worthwhile together here. In addition to the Topps Black that we looked at, I'm certainly not done. I'd love to keep adding more cards of his. I'm really having a lot of fun picking these cards up because they're so affordable. Wanted to get at least one autograph and one relic card as well. I'm not big on collecting either of those these days, but if I'm going to play or collect somebody, I think those both deserve to be represented. And as probably an even better example of just how dirt cheap his cards are, I got this nice autograph here from Upper Deck Sweet Spot in 2008. So this is a rookie year card of his. It's an on-card auto. It's got the great embossed like baseball stitching on the borders of this card. Serial numbered to $3.99. Nice big signature. This was like $3 shipped to my door because, again, nobody cares about this guy or collects this guy. I'm not doing this because I expect these cards to be valuable in the future. This is the opposite of that for me. This is a fun, economical way to form a new player PC and to go out and get some of these really tough parallels or things that would be difficult to acquire for more popular players, but are somewhat readily available and pretty dirt cheap for the Nippon Professional Baseball single season home run leader. And then on the relic card front, I thought this one was really, really cool. This is from a short-lived set called Topps Ticket to Stardom that came out in 2009. I think it was a one and done, but they included, the shtick was here, game-used or authentic ticket stubs to Major League Baseball games. And so I found this Ballantine relic. It's got two kind of plain white relic swatches up top, which don't really excite me. But the reason I went for this card, the ticket stub that's depicted here, is from a game where he hit one of his 15 career Major League Baseball home runs. So he hit, I think, one home run in 2007, and then he had 7 each in 2008 and 2009. And so this was the second home run on May 5th, 2008, his second home run of his 2008 season, and his third overall home run in Major League Baseball that he hit on this day when this ticket stub was presumably within the stadium there. So I just thought that was really, really cool. Again, this was like $4 shipped to my door. I wouldn't buy all of these. You know, there's a bunch of them out there, but being able to find one from a game where he actually homered for just a couple bucks, I thought was really cool. Ichiro, who was his teammate at the time, also had a double in that game, which is cool to think about. And that was a game that the Mariners won against the Rangers as well. So for now, that's my one relic card that I have for the collection. I've picked up some other cool stuff. You know, we looked at the Allen and Ginter buyback at the beginning of the episode. So he got 3 standard Topps cards, but this is his only Allen and Ginter release. And I grabbed the 10th anniversary buyback that came out in the 2015 Allen and Ginter set. But I also found on Sportlots the mini framed version of that buyback as well. So I've got a pair of Ballantine buybacks, which is perfect. You know, if you've come by here with any frequency, you know that buybacks are a big part of my overall sports card collection. So happy to have that pair. And then found like some of his rookie cards outside of Topps are just so cheap. So like here's his Topps Finest rookie card from 2008. This is the black refractor parallel. Looks great. Love the shine on this. There's a little bit of glare, so apologies. But I mean, this is so cheap. I was finding these for like $2 to $3, even though they're serial numbered to 99 on the back. So I've picked up, you know, 3 or 4 versions of that rookie card. All 4 of these were probably $10 total. And again, I'm probably beating a dead horse here, but I just think it's so cool to get a single season home run champion in such a respected league, to get a parallel of his rookie card numbered to 99 for a couple bucks is just awesome. So I grabbed a few of those, and then also picked up a couple of cards from later in his career. So I mentioned, you know, he lasted all the way till 2021 in Nippon Professional Baseball before retiring after the 2021 season. And so he is included in some NPB products. So check this out. This is the 2021 Topps design that we're all familiar with from Major League Baseball. But in this case, it's from his time with the SoftBank Hawks, who he was still playing with at the end of his NPB career. This is an orange refractor, numbered to 25. But I just thought it was awesome that he's, you know, still around, and that I can get cards of him like this on the same design that I have, you know, Mookie Betts and Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on, even though he had been gone from, you know, Major League Baseball for well over a decade by the time this card was printed up. So just another awesome example there. Another one that didn't break the bank at all, but really cool. Most of what I have is represents his Major League career, but it's really nice to be able to supplement that with some NPB cards as well. So I have another 1 or 2 of those on the way. And then he played internationally for the Netherlands. And even though he retired from Nippon Professional Baseball after 2021, he's been active with their national team as recently as the 2023 World Baseball Classic that just took place before last season. He's not technically retired from baseball, although I suspect he's probably played his final professional game. But so this may go down as, you know, his final card. But really love this. This is the ice foil, or silver ice, numbered to 99. And what a great image there. So, you know, just a way to wrap up his career. Have cards, you know, as far back as prospect cards in 2005 and as recent as 2023 releases here. So just all the more reason why he's such a fun guy to collect. And then I'm going to wrap it up by showing what I would say so far is sort of the gem of my Valentine collection that I've been able to put together. When I started down this road pretty early on, took a look over at Sport Lots because they tend to be a home for a lot of great discounted cardboard. And I found one on there that I could not buy fast enough. And I was just praying that it would arrive, and it actually did. It's his Bowman Chrome Rookie from 2008. But this is the red refractor. I can't believe I got this card. And again, this is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. Trying to get a red refractor of somebody like a Mookie Betts or a Shohei Ohtani would be out of my price range. This one here, even though it's a rookie year red refractor, and as they typically are, numbered to just 5, I got copy 2 of 5 here, picked this card up for $10 on Sport Lots. It absolutely made my day. I was checking the mailbox anxiously daily, waiting for its arrival. And right now, so far, it's kind of the centerpiece of my collection of Valentine. So that's a wrap. I'm going to stop it there for today. There's definitely much more I could say, but having already gone on for well over 20 minutes, we'll just call it there. I have more stuff on the way to further enhance and grow this collection. He's definitely not my top collecting priority or anything like that, but at the prices that I'm finding these at, it's just been a really fun way to kind of energize my passion for the hobby and stay involved and engaged and do something that I find exciting while not really spending a lot of money at all. And it's just been a super rewarding collection in that sense, and wanted to get on here and share it with all of you. Hopefully a few of you have learned about a player today who I think is significant, even though you may disagree with that or put an asterisk next to it. But regardless, I appreciate you stopping by to check out my brand new player PC. And I'll be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. But until then, I hope you all enjoy the hobby. Take care.